The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bizarre and the Unknown. I'm your host, E.D. Testerman. It's good to see you guys. We got everybody slowly trickling in. We got technical difficulties with one of the guests. Another one is not going to be able to make it. She was heading back from a conference. There was an accident on the highway, so she's not going to be back in time. So Marianne will not be joining us. I may have a special guest that will be joining us later on. And I got one that's got technical difficulties. I was actually texting him as we came on here. And the other one is running here late. So, but for now, we have Corey and Jesus Payan Jr. with us. It's good to see you guys. How you guys doing today?
All right. It's really hot here today.
Yeah. I thought I lost my dog earlier. He didn't tell me he was ready to come in. He got overheated. Yeah, it was, man.
Ooh.
I spent 3 hours with snow trying to get him cooled off. It was bad. But yeah, now that's cooling down with that wind. But so Jeff is going to be a little late. My brother, St. Loco, he's trying to get his computer working and let him in, but he's not on the right site. So I reset.
Can't hear you, brother. You got the jams going.
I ain't got nothing going.
Look, I hear a bunch of music. There we go. Now it's stopped. Weird.
Yeah, I say I ain't got nothing going. Hey, main house.
Now it's back on.
Interesting.
Yeah, I hear it too.
It goes in and out. It's been going in and out. It's a real cool song, but I'm just saying it's hard to understand.
Give me 1 second. Let me back out and come back in. Did that fix it?
Yep, I don't hear nothing now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wrote that song. That's my intro. I wrote my intro and extra.
Nice. It's a good song. Nice and
Yeah, that's videos from all my
creepy and
investigations.
spooky. Hell yeah.
That's actual videos of me out on investigations. Both my intro and extra is videos that I recorded when I've been out on investigations. So I kind of stitched that together with all that. It's good to see. Oops, hold on 1 second. Hey, brother Saint Loco, how you doing?
Hey, good, brother. I finally got here.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Welcome.
I want to introduce. This is my very, very good friend, Jesus Payan Jr. He was an actor. You may know him from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. He was Gonzo. He was in Two Guns, Albuquerque. He's been in multiple movies and TV shows. And my other good friend, yeah, he's always the villain. And then my other good friend here, Cory Cole from Boondock Mojo from Oklahoma. We have one guest or one panelist that sadly they're not going to be able to make it in. Their troubles on their travel back home. The other one's running a little late. He will be on. I may have a replacement special guest coming on here in a little bit to join us. So, but we'll go with what we got for now. So to all my subscribers out there, it's good seeing you guys out there today. Thank you for joining us. I haven't done a Q&A panel in a while. I love doing these things. People seem to love it. You know, Saint Loco, if you wouldn't mind, kind of give everybody a little bit of a dirty dog version of a little bit about you, what you kind of do, and we'll kind of go around the clock here. We've got a wide variety of people who do different types of investigations, and that's what I love about this panel is it's not just mainly cryptids. We got people that investigate all kinds of weird stuff going on, and I think it's going to bring a whole new aspect to this Q&A. So if you wouldn't mind, bro, we'll start with you, kind of give them a little bit of dirty about you.
My name is Saint Loco, also known as Tony Shultz. I am from Kansas, and I have been dealing with paranormal and ESP type of situations from a very, very young age. I thought everybody, was this way. Come to find out, we're not. So, but I've just been doing it for a long time. I do have a group of individuals. We do get together. We do some paranormal investigations. Started out just having what would be probably a raw talent or natural talent, not knowing what the hell I was doing. Gotten myself in over my head a few times. They don't have a manual on this. You kind of learn as you go. So that's we do some local investigations. We've done some bigger investigations. We've done everything from small paranormal, just some small, just ghosts, or if we gotta call them ghosts or spirit entities, to some more powerful things that probably wasn't real fun to deal with. But that's all I can come up with, unless somebody has any specific questions for me. That's pretty much all I got.
And for those of you guys who wasn't on the Williams show when I had Saint Loco on there, we were at Indian Point here in Missouri, down around Branson, and we were talking about different ghost hunting methods and equipment that we used. And that video is on my YouTube. It led into something there. I know I can speak for me and probably a lot of other people in here. This is why we investigate this stuff. We ended up helping a little girl and a few others that were being held back by a older man and his wife, we think is who it was. But we were just playing around with equipment, and it kind of led into a full-blown thing. Actually, during my intro, you'll see me sleeping in a bed in that EMF detector, that was during Indian Point. I had a lot of activity going on in my room. So that's kind of, it was one of those, it just happened. And that happens on investigations. Sometimes you're not planning on doing anything, and it leads into something. And that older man and lady, they were pretty aggressive and they're pretty strong. I mean, it was an interesting night that night.
Much so. Yeah, when we first started that, we were just kind of sitting back, chopping it up a little bit, and one thing led into another, and once in a while, it just happens. Things get drawn to you, and that seemed to be what happened that night. And it turned into something very, very interesting.
Yeah. Jesus, if you wouldn't mind, for those who may not know you, that's maybe lived under a rock, give me a little bit of the skinny on you, please.
I'm the most known unknown. Until I actually show people all the stuff that I'm in, then they're like, "Oh, that's you! Yeah, I've seen that. But yeah, I'm an actor, stuntman in Hollywood. I'm the bad guy Mexican, and outside of that, that wasn't my. I've been doing that since 2005. Still in that world doing that stuff. Not that as quite as often as before, but nowadays I'm more working on cars and muscle cars and race cars and stuff right now. I got a Challenger, a Charger, and 2 Magnums.
Sweet. I'm a Mopar guy too.
Yes, sir. But I grew up, just like saying Loco, around it. Thought it was normal. Ghosts, little aliens, UFOs. I've done an abductee experiencer, whatever you want to call it. I research everything in the book you could imagine, from cryptids to, I don't know, just every version of paranormal or supernatural you could think of. But mainly I was experiencing it all myself, all these things. And not till the Breaking Bad thing and all that did people care enough to want to know about it. I never thought about it as, like doing it as a thing or nothing. It's just, us living, what we call our normal lives. But yeah, Bigfoot, 2, Dogman, little tiny people, giants. I mean, the list goes on and on. I can't help it because we live it, but it's really cool that we can talk about it, and meet other people that experience these things that we are going through. Because there's many times, even though I've had it in front of my face, I've touched things, and I still question myself sometimes, and it's like, am I tripping?
No, you're not tripping.
So did I take just too much LSD back when I was, 18 years old? Never came out of it. Damn shrooms, no. But no, seriously though, you know what I mean? If it hadn't started happening, these experiences with other people around, I don't think that people would really believe me, at this point. But that's me, Jesus Jr., aka Gonzo.
You're also an author.
Yep, and I write books too.
Yep. This is actually a very good book. It's not just a cookbook, but it's a story of what led Jesus down the path to make himself better and healthier. So he's got all kinds of recipes pre his health stage and what led to his health stage in this book, along with the stories of his life, his acting, what led all to this, everything that happened. I highly recommend getting Baking Bad with Gonzo, and you can get it on Amazon. It is a phenomenal book.
My first book. I'm very proud of my book.
You ought to be. It's phenomenal.
Baking Bad.
Yeah, Baking Bad with Gonzo.
Baking Bad.
And I got diabetes, so I weighed 450 pounds. So over so many years doing keto diets, and I like all my good tasting food. So me and my wife figured out all the ways we could make all the food that we're not supposed to eat, that we could do it and make it keto. So it was technically healthy for us, but not bad for me. But yeah, so I put all those kind of recipes in there. Like they all seem like they're not going to be good for you, but they are. You know,
Heck
I had to
yeah.
share it with
You
the
definitely need to get that book because I've been a fat kid all my life and in a journey trying to shrink myself. So
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I lost 200 pounds. So,
wow, congratulations, brother.
thank you,
Congratulations.
I'm down to a petite 300 now.
You're not
Right
not at,
on.
you're not at the damn stage anymore. You're at the
You know? I got down to 250, and then I went up 50 since then. So,
Yeah,
but still better than before. You know?
Journey. Yeah, it's tough.
yeah.
Stop the diet.
Right.
Corey, if you wouldn't mind giving everybody the skinny on you, bro.
Well, I was going to ask Jesus, hey, does this look familiar?
Yeah.
Fossilized giant finger?
Yes, sir. It's in person. That's
buddy.
awesome.
It's the one I
That
sent
is-
you the picture of,
Yep.
well, probably
Yep.
what, year and a half, 2 years ago?
That is
I
so
figured
awesome.
You'd remember who I was then.
You know,
My name's Cory Cole. My channel's called Boondock Mojo. I'm pretty much okay, here's my philosophy. I think what not to do is just as valuable as what to do when dealing with this stuff, you know. And I didn't go looking for it. It found me. And most of my life, you know, my parents would say, oh, that's your imagination. That imagination of yours. No, you know, what I'm seeing's real. Oh, Cory, you know, then later on, they don't say that no more. I made believers out of them. I live in Southwest Oklahoma, right on the Red River at the bottom of Oklahoma, about 5-6 miles north of the Red River. My home away from home is Ruidoso, New Mexico, which I don't know how they're doing now if they're recovering from that flood and that fire.
they're doing okay. They're getting things done. All the wreckage has been kind of piled in certain areas, but they're repairing and getting back to normal life. You know,
Good deal.
So it's,
Good deal. Man, I hope they don't lose the futurity race, you know, at the track. But anyway, back to me. I don't have to go anywhere to see these things. They're right outside my front door. I don't know what happened out here, but like in 2015, we had a real bad drought and all the lakes and stuff were down to like 7%. And we had a storm come through and filled the lakes back up to 100% in less than 48 hours. And for I don't know what, something changed after that heavy rain right here. I've been out here all my life. And all of a sudden I started noticing just crazy things. I've had a dogman experience. Had a Bigfoot experience. Didn't know what it was at the time. Thought it was some kind of piece of heavy equipment. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Any guys heard that, but they can sound just like a freaking excavator or a dozer or whatever. You can't tell the difference. Had orbs. I've been touched outside by something. Hear little kids laughing at night out in the dark. A friend of mine's daughter pulled in last night, brought me a Bluetooth speaker, and as she was leaving, I walked her outside. She goes, oh, yeah, you had an orb in your driveway when I pulled in. It was right on my windshield. And I said, you're just telling me this now? And she goes, well, I mean, we see them all the time, Cory. Almost forgot to tell you. So that's my place right there in a nutshell.
and a giant finger.
And a giant finger. I think it may be, man, you got me thinking this may be a toe. Jesus, it could be a toe.
You don't
Big
use it.
toe.
Don't use it to pick your nose. It won't fit.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It's probably the pointer toe.
To let you guys know, if you have a question for anybody in the panelist or the whole panel, please put it in cap lock so it's easier for me to see. The chat's kind of rolling. I did see one. I couldn't find it. I believe it was for Main House, and it was for Jesus Payan. How old were you when you were your first time being abducted? If I remember right, that was the question.
I would say I would call it 3.5, about 3.5 maybe.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, it was in England. We were living in England. My dad was stationed there in the Air Force. And that was my first memory ever of seeing UFOs. Later in life, me and my sister got hypnotized and regressed. And it had nothing to do with, the paranormal. We were, like 14 years old or something, 15. And they're asking us, memories of our, our past. And we both had remembered when we were living in England, being in my room, looking out the window. It was evening, kind of dark, getting there. A cigar-shaped glowing. It wasn't like a silver rod or nothing. It was a rod, cigar-shaped. But I remember it being glowing orange, and she remembered it being green. And it came to the window, and when it got close to the window, that's where the memory ends. That was the first memory I have of anything that dealt with that.
Wow. Yeah, I remember one.
That's kind of crazy. A guy from New Mexico gets abducted in England.
Right?
I remember one time.
I remember. Huh?
Whereabouts in England were you?
Oh, I was about almost an hour's distance from the Rendlesham Forest.
Okay.
I've
read some testimonies from some people where there was a lot of UFO activity there in England. We were living right there during the Rendlesham Forest incident. We were there. Okay. Wow.
It was active time.
Right on.
Well, they had that can't remember if it was a Bigfoot or if it was a dog man. I want to say it was a Bigfoot that was messing around with the Air Force base there. I think it was post Vietnam, if memory serves me correctly. It actually, one guy had, so there's multiple stories. One story is the guy died of fear inside the cockpit of the plane. The other side of the story was he was found there frozen in fear and never would go back on guard duty in that location. And it was something beast of the wood, black. I can't remember. I have to look it up. I did a video on it. On a video, military versus monsters. It was one of my first videos, but yeah, I mean, that stuff happened over there.
Right. Yep. Yeah. That name sounds real familiar.
Yeah.
I've heard that story. Definitely. It's in your videos.
Yep. Yeah, I said fear freaky. God, die of beer. I almost have a couple times. Bad days. Hold on. I got to send that link to Jeff again real quick. Okay, I got to send it to his email.
I heard that guys that wear glasses are pretty damn cool. Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Fact.
We'll have to just do this.
I wear girly glasses just so somebody to say something.
I am secure in my masculinity.
I'm actually surprised you're not on here with some old beehive glasses.
Hey man, you know why these are my favorite? I hadn't broken them yet. They're the toughest set of glasses, man, because I go through, destroy.
Yep.
And usually it happens riding in the pickup, somebody hits a pothole, and my head hits the side of the door and breaks them. Not these. These girly looking suckers are tough.
Okay. I see a bunch of scratches. You can't really see them, but they're scratched everywhere because they're not glass. They're plastic. You know what I mean? It sucks. Gotta get some new ones.
Mine? Or you talking about yours or mine?
Mine.
Oh, I'm hitting mine.
I can look around and I can see UFOs now. You know, there's scratches on my damn glasses and it's annoying. I tried polishing them, with car polish, and didn't help. Nope.
And
Didn't help.
I can tell you one of the most durable glasses I ever owned, and I absolutely freaking hated them. We called them BCs, birth control.
Yep.
The military
Military style.
Yeah, BCs, man, them things would go through anything and come back alive. But my God, they were so ugly. Hey, Rhonda. So,
you know you're handsome if you wear those and girls still hit on you. You know,
right now they're in fashion.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
I was a Marine. It did work, but I still hated them. But God, yeah, no, guy, and I'll never forget them ugly things. So, with this being a Q&A, we got several different things. Little update. DA was out here a little bit ago. That's why I was late getting backstage. We were shooting some pew-pews and looking over Noah's truck to see what we needed to do to it. I actually found a possible print that when I first saw it, I thought might be a small Bigfoot. But then I looked at it closer and noticed a claw at the end of it. So those of you that have been watching for a little bit, we've had multiple reports of, very large felines, even bipedal felines in my area lately. And DA and Steve was talking about it, when I had that embarrassing little deal and they came out looking for me. They even saw it out here. So I'm wondering if that's not it. So I got a question for you guys. Do you guys know what first off, do you guys know what a bipedal feline is, where it comes from?
Do not.
From the bipedal parents?
What
do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What land they come from, or what do you mean? I'm confused.
What culture?
Oh, I don't know that.
I'm gonna guess Aztec.
You are correct. It comes from Mesoamerica.
Oh, okay.
Much like the SWs in Mesoamerican culture, they were known to don the skins of jaguar or whatever it was, use the magic to transform into them. And with the large number of Hispanics coming across the border, the fact that the possibility of that crossing lines and being here now is not out of the realm of possibility. And that's very similar to what we may be seeing around here. So have you guys ever experienced anything like that in your area? I know with like Corey, there was a lot of reports going in his area where dogmen were hopping the border and going after people. Have any of you guys seen anything that could possibly be a bipedal feline?
Not yet.
No, the border thing, but it's with Bigfoots. Here at the border, been munching on people. The border patrol, like on video, said that they're watching with their heat signature glasses, and they'll see a big old, what looks like a giant person squatted down by a big bush, and the unlucky border crosser gets like that, and they'll just find them all torn up, pieces left.
Bipedal feline? No, not really. I know in eastern Kansas, they've had quite a few Bigfoot sightings. And, when I was younger, there were some pretty substantial evidence that, we saw some prints over around Neodesha. And for those that are familiar with this area, Neodesha, Independence, Coffeyville, around that area. And if you're not, it really don't matter because they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. But, it was a big thing here for a little bit. But they followed a tree line. They followed a forest line. They didn't really come too far out into the prairie areas, which would be more where I'm at. Belle Plaine, Kansas, outside of Wichita, Kansas. So this is more considered prairie. So we really don't have a whole lot of Bigfoot and or chupacabra or as you're talking about here, but just a stone throw away though.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I guess how you look at it, like with the Aztecs and the Mayans, and when they had that doing what you're saying, it could be compared to like today's the skinwalkers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or it's a curandera, a witch, a male or female. Back then, it wasn't always a witch, or any type of that. There was warriors. The warriors, they would take that role to get things done, But yeah, so it's like with what's going on is they've just figured out the practices and the enchanting or the enchantments or spells or rituals to access that realm. It would have to more than likely is they're doing it for bad, but yeah, it's very interesting.
Hey,
I hadn't thought about.
You got a bad dude on your side, fighting on your side. You really don't mind, you know, when it's about survival.
Yeah, and that's like the story of Wakanda, Black Panther. That whole thing that all is happened in North America.
A bipedal cat, man, would kind of freak me out. I mean, I've seen Dogman, I've seen Bigfoot, I've seen all kinds of stuff, but man, a bipedal cat. Whew.
Do you know? I know of a bipedal cat that millions and millions and millions of people have seen, but didn't realize that it was a bipedal cat.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. What is it?
Okay, here we go. Michael Jackson, Thriller. He doesn't turn to a werewolf. He actually turns to a cat.
Yep, he does. You're absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
See, and the thing is, too, a lot of people don't realize, and this is something I've explained to people multiple times, that magic that creates the werecats, the Celtic werebeast, the Nordic Ufanar and berserkers and ravens and boars and the SWs we know here, and every culture around the world has this type of dark magic used to transform into some type of creature. Mesoamerica was predominantly werecats, but every culture talks about this stuff. It's nothing new. And the technique used to do it is the exact same. Different words, different type of harmony, but it's the frequency used to make that transformation possible. And a lot of people...
Isn't there a link with ayahuasca and the jaguar?
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all heard about that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this possibility of it coming up is absolutely a part of that.
The thing about this, what I mentioned earlier, is that I know it's a cartoon, but the Thundercats was based on those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a question here. Wasn't there a campground? This is from Dawn. Wasn't there a campground in Missouri that closed last year because of the cat people? It wasn't necessarily. I think it was closed for a little bit, but a forestry ranger shot it. Either shot it or shot at it, and that's actually not too awful far from where I'm at. A couple hours at the most drive, and that was the first sighting of a werecat in Missouri. Hey, Bounty. Hey, Moon. So yeah, and it was shortly after that when I was getting 3 different sightings in my area, all within a 15-mile of each other. Oh, dude. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jelly, bro. I'm jelly. That's nice. Corey, did you answer? I just thought about that. Did you answer if you had them werecats in your area?
Haven't seen one yet. I mean, that I know of. I've got friends that live down directly on the Red River, and they talk about seeing stuff that I'll just have to have them draw it, if they're pretty decent artists. And I see a lot of otter type bipedal looking cryptids have a heavy otter look to them. Yeah. I've seen the hyena, drawing of the hyena that they've drawn for me. Let's see. Man, the Red River is just teeming with stuff. I mean, Bigfoot and Dogman really probably ain't the worst thing down there, you know?
Yeah.
Have any of y'all seen a pale crawler? Have y'all seen a pale crawler? Any of you?
No,
I'm
just
getting a flamethrower, man. If I see one, it's on. You know, I'm getting one of the Elon Musk flamethrowers. Them things freak me out. That's the one thing that'll get me, you know, is the pale crawler. But no.
They're creepy as hell.
Oh, dude. You know, and I've heard
Jesus,
like
you've seen one
military.
too?
Huh?
I was asking Jesus, have you seen one too?
We're Bigfoot hunting, and we're using the FLIRs, and down the way we started crawling. We started crawling, you know, and it was like a cartoon almost, going twinkle toes, you know. And
man, I hear they like can manipulate their joints and stuff. And, I mean,
it was all weird, crazy. They look crazy, man. They look crazy as hell. Like I said, it looked like a cartoon. It was so freaky.
Yeah.
And I've heard they can take multiple 50 cal rounds too. I don't know if that's true or not.
I've got 50 cal. I'll give it a shot.
Super Soaker was some acid.
Well, this dude said you gotta get them out in the open if you're gonna kill one, and run it for a while, and get it out of its element, get it out of the woods, and get it out in the sun, because their eyes, you know, are made for dark areas and shaded areas and stuff. Got to get it out of its element and run its ass for a while. And he said, and then multiple 50 cal rounds after that. I listen to everybody's story and decide for myself, but this dude sounded pretty convincing. And if that's true, holy crap, dude.
Yep. Roxanne and Dawn reminded me of that werecat. It was in Branson, Missouri. So that's back an hour and a half from where I'm at. Roxanne said the kids were chased out of the woods and the Rangers went in and had to shoot their way out of the woods. And Don reminded me of it. He was right. They did have to close the campground down around 4th of July because of this werecat that they ran into at the campground in Branson.
Did they say how tall it was?
I believe it was a 7 foot, 5 to 7 foot range. I can't remember off the top of my head. Wasn't it a pale crawler that climbed in the back of that dude's pickup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one he said was wearing Civil War soldier garb.
No, that was what he's seen before this had happened, I think.
You talking about the one that got in the truck?
Mm-hmm.
He said that's not human.
Back of the bed.
Yeah, that's the one he said was wearing Civil War garb, I thought, but I may be mistaken. I don't know, man. I would have backed over that thing. I would have ran over that sucker 5 or 6 times before I took off. You know?
Be throwing beer cans at it.
Everything. I might even waste a full one.
Jeff is getting set up to come in, so he should be here in a moment.
Hey, can I answer a question?
Yep.
Monisha asked me, have I seen orbs in my house? No, I have not, but I have seen what they call a will-o-wisp. But it's not your typical will-o-wisp. And I don't know if they look different indoors, but I seen one come through my bedroom over the top of my friend's head, and as it was going by, you know, it goes like this, and I heard it go into the wall and make a thud, and I was like, "That's what that noise has been all day," you know. And it looked pixelated at first, and I talked to William, and he said, "No, man, it's woven. Its shell is woven like a basket." And, you know, man, thank God for William. That guy, he's taught me so much, you know. And I said, look, are they dangerous? Is what I need to know. Because, man, I've got a cemetery just to have, quarter mile to my west. I've got that haunted junkyard around my place. I've seen orbs. I've been growled at by one. Yeah, Manisha, but I've never seen one in the house.
That's good if you don't see them in the house.
Yeah.
You know, especially if there's any, you know, aggressive bad guys, you know, orbs. And there's good ones, bad ones, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess you could say it, you know, it's a spirit, you know, of some sort. You know what I mean? So evil spirits are always going to be dangerous. You know,
You got to think your two primary orbs is going to either be paranormal or supernatural. Paranormal is not going to be near as physical as supernatural. I've had I cannot tell you 100% for sure this was Fae. I strongly believe this was a Fae, and it was mostly white with like a blue, kind of bluish little swirling tinge to it that shot out of the woods and almost hit me in the chest and caused me to fall over. And it stopped in front of me and shot, you know, over my chest and shot up in the air. I was like 15 or 16 when that happened. You know, so I mean, this type of stuff, and there's Fae that do look like orbs. So you really, when you're dealing with orbs, it's how can you see it? For one, can you see it with the visible eye? Number two, what is the level of its physicality? And that's going to tell you a lot of what's going on.
well, like one time I was in that, you know, do you remember that place where Alec Baldwin shot that director girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Bonanza Ranch. And I was there, we're scouting a film location. And we went into, there was a 6 Million Ways to Die in the West. They filmed there too. So in that, excuse me, in that, you know, the bar there, the saloon, we were inside there, and I could hear, I was being yelled at by like at least 15, 20 people at once, with a bunch of pissed off Indians. I mean, woo, they were angry because they were mad that the current owner of the property was charging people to walk on the land and, you know, and be there, not understanding that she's charging, you know, movie companies to come and have shootouts and all kinds of crazy stuff. And yeah, they were pissed, yelling at me. And I told my producer, he was upstairs, and I was like, "Hey man," I go, take a picture right now. Take a couple pictures, dude. I go, I'm being yelled at by a bunch of people right now. And he took a picture, and we went on with our, you know, our day, you know, scouting and stuff. And like 3 days later, he hit me up, and he was like, "Dude, you're not gonna believe. Remember when you said you were talking to all those people?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Check this shit out, man." And he sent me the picture, and sure enough, I was surrounded by a crap load of orbs. It was wild. You know?
Yeah, we do have another question, but real quick, I remember the last time I had you on, Jesus, you sent me was it Albuquerque, the film set that you was at, that you was taking pictures and had all them orbs in?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pyro has a question. I wonder if a pale crawler is what the Cherokee call the moon-eyed people. That's a good question.
That
is a good question.
It's a good question. I don't think so.
No,
Doesn't mean I'm right. It could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't picture the moon-eyed people looking like those guys. You know,
I've never put those two together. I never put one and one together on that. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible.
Right. Until I can talk to one, I can't be certain.
Yeah.
You
I'm gonna
know?
just let you talk to it.
You know, that guy over there.
Manisha says, oh man, my chat's acting up. Give me a second. Eric, my friend has a video of an orb in her house. I sensed it was good. Yeah, a lot of times, so a lot of people don't know when you're dealing with paranormal, your most common apparition you're going to get is an orb. And that's if it's not dust and it's not insect. You have to be really careful about that there. Manisha says, Tony, I love your hair.
Well, thank you.
Man, I almost cut a mohawk in mine before the show, and I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't. I would have looked like a copycat.
I was trying to do it, but I missed. You know?
I'm getting where I can't do it no more. But anyway, your most common apparition is going to be an orb. Now, the next common one is going to be a partial apparition. A full body is extremely rare. So when you're looking at these paranormal type of orbs, you're looking at something that's trying to get energy to manifest, and all it can do is an orb. Like in my videos, when you see them setting off my EMF detector, that's when I get excited. When they set off my cameras, the motion sensors on my camera, that's when I get excited about orbs, because there's something to it, and how they move is another.
Do you remember when I sent you? It was a while back, but I had a picture of an orb, green orb, that was passing by my RV trailer tires, and then it stopped over the barbecue grill. Mm-hmm. And after we zoomed in and cleaned it up, you could literally see a face and horns or Medusa.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite picture of your evidence, man.
It's sticking out its tongue.
That's mind blowing.
You know,
it looks like crazy. A chick. It looks like a female,
but like a Medusa. It looks like a Medusa or something.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Yep.
Wow.
In those orbs.
Yeah.
I was jealous when I saw that. I was like,
you got a finger, man. You got a giant finger or toe. You know? I will trade that experience, man. That thing broke my window. I was doing a tattoo, and the dude, we're sitting there, and the door just slams open. Wham! Right, smashes the window. You know, the door slams into the window right there, right next to us. And we look at each other like, "Holy crap! What the hell?" And then disembodied little voice, about 3 feet up, right by our faces, it sounded like a little kid said, "Hello," like that. When we were like, "Oh, hell no." And he was like, "Hey, man, can we call this just a session 1? We'll do session 2 later." And I was like, "I dig it. I understand." So he took off. And, that night I took a couple pictures of, because it was like full moon and the porch light and the star over here, whatever, was just perfect, lined up, looked like Sirius. And it was really cool. So, and I had just finished building a staircase and a little bridge, wooden bridge for my little RV. So I was all proud, and I took a picture or two. And then a friend of mine, I was visiting, I was showing him the staircase, and he was like, "Hey, what's that, man?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Right by your tires." And there's a green orb passing by my tires. And then in the next picture, it's not there no more, but over my little cheap barbecue grill that was right by the RV, right above it, it's a green glowing orb. Yeah.
I remember that picture. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
but
cool.
The shape of it, do you remember Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell? Mm-hmm. You remember that head thing that used to float around? It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Except it was green.
Yep. That's wild, man.
Brandon has a question for us. What is our take on shadow people? What do we think they are?
They're pretty shady. Just kidding. Well, that's a good question, because
that's why Jesus is in show business.
It got me in all kinds of trouble in school, I'll tell you that. They didn't like it back then. But no, I've seen shadow people. I've seen the Hat Man. Is that the same thing? You know what I mean? I don't know. I can imagine there's got to be all kinds of different versions of the shadow people, as in it's not just one type of entity. What if it's a whole nother dimension? We're seeing shadows from the other dimensions, or vice versa. I don't know, or it's just a spirit, or an evil spirit, or a demon, or some type of elemental, or the list goes on. But the ones that I've experienced, they're not cool and not good. They seem to be very, very evil.
I was going to weigh in on this one. It's like, shadow people or shadow elementals or spirits are definitely malevolent. I have never came across, or heard anybody that came across a shadow person, entity that they got good vibes from. Okay. They're there for malevolency, and you stay away from them. Do whatever you need to do to stay the hell away from them. Do not engage. Mm-hmm. Don't invite, and for God's sake, don't invite them into you.
Mm-mm.
The only type of shadow person I could say that I've seen that was not malevolent was a partial manifestation of a ghost. And it wasn't like pure black. It was just, it looked like it because of the shadows, and shadow manipulation going on in that place. I'm a firm believer shadow people are either paranormal or supernatural, depending on what they're doing. And I believe the paranormal side of it is it's a partial manifestation. That's just my theory on it.
I would agree with that.
Corey,
I've seen one. Wasn't exactly a shadow creature. It was dark like a shadow, but it had a sparkly, like almost like stars or diamonds on it. It was definitely a female shaped entity. And it told me its name. And my best friend's like, have you looked it up? And I was like, no. And he goes, look
What's
it up.
the name, man?
Hey, man. I was like, all right. And I looked it up and I was like, yep, here it is.
What is it?
Nema or Nama, one or the other.
They're coming for you.
But
That's
when it told me
right.
its name, I was like, I thought she was my girlfriend. And I just rolled over, went to sleep.
They're going to get your ass, Mr. Postman.
Hey, but, man, when I looked at it and seen that, I was like, crap. You know, I was hoping it wouldn't be in there.
We have a question from Main House. I wonder if the colors mean something like auras as the behavior. What do you all think?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'll weigh in on that. Absolutely. When if you're talking about the orbs, yeah, the color of the orbs, it does has direct relevancy to the type of spirit or entity that you are actually observing, and to a degree, what it's trying to do. Okay. Kind of like shadow people. You're not going to, that's why I'm surprised when you said you saw a shadow person that had like stars or sparkles or like diamonds on it. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's really interesting. But for myself,
And it told me its name.
Yeah. And yeah. Told you the name. So, but yeah, when it comes to orbs, absolutely. There is a direct correlation, in my opinion, with the color of an orb as in your auras or chakras, your chakra auras.
I
They're
go
like
by the
mood
rule
rings.
of
Mood
red,
rings. Those mood rings.
danger. Just like stop or get away. Anything with red eyes, red orb.
Right.
I put some distance between us.
Yeah.
I got growled at by that blue one that time. Really, it wasn't growling at me. It was growling at my dumbass friend who didn't believe. And I took him out there and I was like, there's one right there. And he goes, let's rush it. And I said, don't do that. And about that time, I was like, he goes,
charging.
why? Hey, I said, because I got to live here, man. You don't.
Yep.
And after it growled, he goes, okay, Cole, you win. And I ain't seen him since. He moved to Alaska after that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like,
I was
Jesus,
out
like that
one
guy
time.
that said, I'll go out there and camp, and you told him, hey, Bigfoot, this guy don't believe you. Believe you real. He found out
Come
real
on
quick.
down.
didn't
Say
he?
what's up. Yeah.
He found out
Straight
real quick.
Come on out and say hi.
Never saw him again. They came. They came that night. He got knocked over by one, and gave me his tent the next morning, and that was in 2017. And haven't
I
seen.
bet
him
he's a
since.
believer now.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. The shit he saw, woo-hoo,
Hey, he asked for it.
FAFO fucked around and found out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, stood up.
Roxanne
Man,
says,
that's some killer pictures, man. They're all sticking their face in that tent going,
Yep, making faces and stuff. That was
Roxanne
wild.
says, my shadow person I called my old man did push a black mist away from me the other day. He protects me. And there is instances I've heard of that. Let's see. Don says shadow people I have seen was in our that I've seen was in our house, told them to leave, and they left. So I'm trying to get caught up on the chat here. Make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Hey, Foxy. And I think, okay, yep, I am caught up on the chat. Perfect. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things do mirror each other, even though they're not the same. We run into that stuff quite often, you know. And I've always said this. I mean, look at what you hear about a ghoul. You know, the jinn called the ghoul, and there's a lot of reports of a ghoul in France during World War I in a place called No Man's Land, taking bodies from the middle of no man's land. If you actually listen to the description of a ghoul, it sounds like a pale crawler. It sounds like a big W, what I call a big W because I don't like to say
they're ugly.
Mm-hmm.
They're nasty.
Yeah. So I mean, we have to understand that this type of stuff is they're supernatural entities. They don't know borders. They don't know boundaries like we do. Borders and boundaries is a human thing. So I mean, these things move around. The jinn have been here longer than humans. Bigfoot's been here longer than humans. Dogman's been here longer than humans. So many of these things, both cryptid and supernatural, have been on this planet longer than humans have. So they've ran all over this area. So when you're running into cases, I always tell people we may call it one thing here, but at another place they call it something else.
It just goes by a different name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, here, that one book by
argues.
Jacques Vallée, you know who that guy is, right? Jacques Vallée, the author.
Sounds familiar.
He wrote the book, what's it called? Damn it, the book of son of a gun. I just had it there. It's a book about him comparing current UFOs and aliens and all that stuff to, you know, medieval times, you know, the fairy lights and all that stuff. It's the same thing that we're seeing, just different names every different generation or civilization that happens. It's always been. No, not sure. It's with an M. It's one word. Passport to Magonia. That's Passport to Magonia. I highly recommend that book. I read it years ago, but man, it really hits a lot of marks with alien abduction versus succubuses and succubi and the different comparisons of what happened back then. They didn't call UFOs and aliens, you know what I mean? But it was the same stuff going down. But yeah, I just had that popped in my head while you guys were talking about that. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. Roxanne has the question. Jesus, when was the last time you had a Bigfoot experience? And I remember that video you had, me and you was talking about. You had some weird stuff going on that night.
Yep. The last experience I would say that I had with Bigfoot would probably be about 2 months ago. Just out in the forest. Looking around, and did some knocking and some whooping, and they responded. They were out there, and we, found one of their, a couple other structures, big old teepees, and there was little teepees too, like the little ones had made, copying their parents. So yeah, that was right there in Bailey Canyon, right below Cloudcroft, New Mexico, right there, Mescalero, Apache, yeah.
If I remember out,
my favorite Sasquatch photo of Jesus is that one wearing that talisman. The necklace.
Yep, wow. Goes all the way down. Yeah, that's wild, right?
Wow. Have you guys seen that? It's like, what do you say? Probably the shaman of the.
It'd have to be one of the holy men. Their medicine men, because it had a full, I guess you could see the regalia, bone, made out of bones, all the way down to almost the belly.
This photo is mind blowing, man.
It was wild.
I mean, I tell you, I'm jealous, straight up, jealous of the stuff he's captured.
But a lot of it,
like showing it. It's like he's like, "What's up?" Kind of leaned out.
Yep. And when I take the pictures, the way I do it is, I'll hear something, right? Or I'll sense something, and I just pull up my camera. I don't, or if I actually see them, I don't look at them, and I just take a picture, and then when I get home, I'll worry about zooming in and looking for stuff. Just while I'm there, I'm gotta make sure they don't think that I can see anything, and I'm just taking random But when I do that, that's when I get a lot of these images that hey, what's up? We're all changing places. That freaked me out. But yeah. But yeah, so a lot of the pictures I get are from doing that. And when they don't think that you see them, that's when they do more things and stick their little heads out or, stuff like that.
Hey, real quick,
Show you
Jeff,
their talisman.
can you say something? For some reason, your image is not popping up.
I can see everybody. Oh, no, you're right. There's a skeleton. Holy moly.
Oh, he's not got signal. Oh, nope. Okay. He's having issues. We're trying to get him back in.
Whoa, I'm dizzy. Moving around.
Heck yeah. There was a question.
Said, I'm going to move around for a minute and I'll be right back.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
I've seen a question.
Now a word from our sponsors.
I seen a question on the small screen, but it ain't popped up on here where I can read it. So whoever had a question, please send it again. There he is. The Milkman himself, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good to see you.
It's been one of those evenings, hasn't it?
Yeah. Marianne's not going to be able to join us because on their way back from a conference, there was an accident on the highway, so it slowed the traffic down. But I may have another guest joining us if they're able to get back in time.
Yeah, that's just how it seems. Nothing ever goes the way you plan it. It seems like.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Jesus.
Nice to meet you, brother. I was gonna say, when stuff does go right, that's when I get all suspicious. When stuff's going too well.
Hey, this is dairy farming. Nothing ever goes like I planned it to.
Yeah, it's like I've told you before, man. I got nothing respect for dairy farmers because I sure as hell couldn't do it. I mean, dairy farming is 24/7. Jack. Yeah, I'll stick to my beef. I mean, dairy farming is.
Hey, I've got those too. Yeah. I've got them. I got chickens. I got a goat.
Nice.
So we earlier we had everybody kind of describe a little bit about themselves in case they didn't know it. Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, kind of let everybody who may not know you a little bit about you and how you got started in this field of study.
So I'm Jeff Yarrington, also known as the Milkman. Got started doing this 2 years ago with another local. I actually had my first encounter. Now, I've never full-on had a sighting, although there's been a few instances where I think something I'd originally thought was paranormal might have been Bigfoot. The first one I really know about was 2017. I got screamed at by one working on a deer stand, which is the reason why I don't work on a lot of stuff after dark anymore, especially on the back side of the property. So a couple years ago, I finally decided to come out about it and got into woodwalkers with Spencer Jameson and Greg House and Misty Haynes. And they're like, well, would you want to come on the show? And I said, well, never really thought about doing it. And then got hooked up with some other guys I know locally. And now we've been doing a podcast for 2 years. It's
cool.
Been a wild ride. It's called Line Cryptids.
Nice.
Still working on hitting that 1,000 mark, but we haven't quite got there yet. No, I haven't either. I'm close, but I'm not there yet. But it's okay, man. I've got some of the most amazing subscribers you can have. I'm truly blessed with all of them. I think when I checked it last, I'm at 826. I mean, I don't pay attention to the numbers because that's not what I do this about. I was just on there checking a video and happened to see it. And that's usually when I see the numbers. Oh, wow, I've jumped up quite a bit since the last time I saw it. Brandon has a question. What paranormal legends or cryptids do you usually cover? We have a legend of Deer Man in my area, what would that be considered? I live near native land and burial ground. On this show, Brandon, I cover everything. Yeah. You know, Deer Man, I know that's a supernatural entity. I've heard quite a bit of Deer Man. We've got some background noise going on. But I've heard of that. That'd be more for me, more of a supernatural entity. But it's famous in, was that Cherokee legend? Was it Cherokee?
Yeah, it's Cherokee.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, Cherokee legend. So, I mean, it's interesting what you find on that type of stuff.
Now, could that be tied into a skinwalker?
No, I think it's something else. But there is, you know, especially more so in Celtic mythology, with their werebeast of transforming into a deer. That's why in Saga Grimson Book 2, Black Death, I wrote that in there because they were fighting dark druids. And so they're messing with the Celts. And that was one of the most prominent werebeasts they talked about, was turning into a buck. So it is very much in the Celtic history.
The Comanche, that's where I live, is you know, where they were pretty thick, and they talk about the deer lady all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never heard of the deer man, just the deer lady. But I'm not saying, you know, but she's supposed to represent like lustfulness. You know, people have caught pictures of her at powwows.
I drum and sing with the Comanche boys. So next time I talk to
man,
them,
have you heard the Wildman, the Comanches? Have you heard those guys drum? I sent a video of that to Eric. Man, that I heard them one night, man, and I was like, felt my hair vibrating with those guys, dude. They're bad to the bone.
Yeah. That's actually, I'm glad you actually said something about that. I got a question for all you guys. Most of you guys know the Bigfoot vocals that I've caught on my property. Female speaking Lakota, the two males speaking Cherokee. Have you guys, any of you guys do the cryptid side of it, have you ran across that? I mean, I've heard the samurai chatter out here. I've heard the Ghibli out here. I've heard them actually using words. Have you guys ran into that during your investigations?
I have with the Bigfoots, you know, them saying certain words that are known by the different tribes. Like goes Octa, you know, some of them say Octa, which means I'm here, you know, I'm here, I'm there. And then in some ghost stuff, spirits, when I'm driving through certain areas, you know, like the lava fields we have here between Carrizozo and like Socorro, New Mexico. We have a big old area of lava fields, and I'll drive through there and I'll hear straight up drumming and singing and everything. Like, it's pretty wild stuff. Get overwhelmed sometimes. But yeah, those are the two different experiences that I have, anything that with native languages involved.
If you hear him say, if you hear him call you Hatsi, that's Comanche.
Sorry, I'm kind of checking on my boy here. I thought I was going to lose him earlier. He got a little overheated, and I thought I was going to lose him earlier. Man, my heart was broken because this is my late mom's dog, and me and him are pretty close. So I was wanting to check on him because I looked over and he was laying on his pillow, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't see him breathing." So I said his name, Snow.
Snow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I call him Rat Dog sometimes, or when he's also the Great White Possum Possum. Great White Possum Wrangler and a Great White Armadillo Wrangler. He loves chasing off armadillos and possums. He gets so excited doing that.
That's cool. You got armadillos running around your house?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next time you see one, take a picture for me.
Yeah, bro.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. people don't realize we've been having armadillos come up here since the 90s. I remember the first time I hit one, I was in my 79 Ford F100 Ranger with the 400 V8 big block, and I was shooting a curve down in Branson a little faster than when I was supposed to be, and this little bastard came out in the middle of the road. I was like, what the hell? Oh, crap. That was a fucking moment.
We call that an up-armored possum. That's
That's a tactical possum right there.
we have possums, but I don't have armored possums.
Oh, God. Dude, I hit one on my motorcycle one time. Oh, my God.
Damn.
Oh,
If you go over the top of them, oh, yeah. Hey, but if you got a good set of Doc Martens shoes, and kick one in the side, you can kill it.
Damn.
I don't know about all that, but they'll tear the shit out of your yard. Because
Yeah.
they tear my yard.
I told my daughter, I
I
said, I bet I can kill it. And she goes, you cannot. And I said, watch this. And I got out and kicked that son of a bitch in his. I hate them. Man, they dig under my house.
I hit one with a 1-ton Dodge Dually pickup one time, and I threw it on the back of the truck, and it was old flatbed, and I drove home. And I got home, it was like 11 o'clock, and I got out of the truck, and I'm like, where the hell's the possum? And I looked up, and it was climbing up the window rack. It was trying to get up on the roof.
You were driving, it was all holding on. Woo! You know?
Now,
I was running.
He got introduced to a bat.
I was running late from work one morning, and I went to pass this school bus on my bike. And hey, Line Cryptid. And I shot around this thing, and next thing you know, there's this damn armadillo. And I hit that thing doing 90. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was an interesting ride.
My grandparents had some friends that totaled I think it was a Mini Cooper hitting a raccoon.
That'd be a big ass raccoon.
Destroyed the Mini Cooper, I'm guessing.
Yeah, somehow they totaled it hitting a raccoon. I don't know.
Your big mama raccoon, them suckers get huge.
Oh.
Yeah, they do. They get pretty big.
I would
You ever seen
imagine
one
what happened was the raccoon probably got hit, and then they probably hit something else after they veered away from the raccoon.
That's what they tell people. It was just a raccoon.
Hey, Don's got something here. He says, Jesus, we get dealer live under our house at times. Dealer
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I think I'm.
Hey, man, I had a friend who had a couple of Alaskan Huskies, and his dad taught him to hunt these ditches, and they'd kill badgers.
Oh, Lord.
One night, we didn't have any guns with us, anything. We just had the dogs, took them out, and we run across this big mama raccoon, this big sow. We sicked the dogs on her, and that bitch whooped the shit out of them dogs. I mean, dude, they would work together, and that big mama coon would keep turning, and I mean, as soon as they get close enough, get a hold of them ears and go to town on that nose. And them dogs finally jumped in the back of the pickup. I said, "Get back out!" And they was like, "Woo."
I wonder what the world's biggest raccoon ever was recorded.
Man, this one was huge. I mean,
I don't know. We've caught some here we've trapped some here that were probably 30 pounds at least.
yeah. And man, when she stood up, I was like, "Whoa!" You know.
The Raccoonzilla.
Hey, man, they fight like humans.
Hey, I don't trust anything that's got hands, all right?
Yeah, opposable thumbs, man.
Right?
But hey, we drove off with the dogs that night, and we decided to let her live. You know.
If it's got dexterity, you're in trouble.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should share this. Not. It's kind of embarrassing, but I was like 17, 18 years old one time, and I was the only one.
You might
here.
have told me this story.
And I was the only one here, and I may or may not have had company with me. And,
I know this story.
during this communication time, I hear chickens going nuts in the chicken coop. I mean, and this is late at night, so I'm like, oh crap, man, there's something in the chicken coop. And I thought maybe it was like a black snake stealing eggs or something, which is common, or it's a damn weasel getting in there, which is something else. We have a lot of dang weasels get in the chicken coop too. So I just put on my boots and cowboy hat and nothing else, and I'm walking out to the chicken
Why'd you
coop.
even put the hat on?
It's habit.
Because that's what real men do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's habit, man. Yeah,
Cowboy
so
up.
yeah, actually, that's what it was my cowboy hat. But I go out there and there's this dang coon, and I was like, he was messing with the chicken egg, so I got mad and I kicked this. It was a big old boar coon. And I kicked that thing in the head, and it went flying across the chicken coop, and then that thing came after me. And I was like, oh, crap, man, I'm hauling butt back to my trailer. And by then I had a trailer that had doors on the same side. So the front was up here and the rear was back here. So I run in there. I grab my 50 caliber CVA Mountain Stalker. And, my friend's like, what's going on? I said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, and then I'll be right back. And I ran out the back door because that coon was clawing at my front door. And I'm running. I'm going to take aim, and that thing came after me again. I was like, oh, crap. So, man, I'm hauling butt. And I didn't think about it. My first instinct was, I'm going to climb this tree to get away from this coon. Smart me. Yeah, no. That thing started coming up that tree after me. I went, oh, crap. All you hear is a click. Boom. I shot. And then I was like, gone. But I literally had a coon tree me. I've had coons chase me out of tree stands, too. I get up there zero dark stupid to get ready for deer season. All of a sudden I hear, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I look around, as a daggone coon sitting right there on a tree limb next to me. I was like, yep, this is yours. I'm gone.
Yeah, I've been chased across my yard before. They're pretty tough until they find out you're armed, and then they turn around and go the other direction. But,
Heard all kinds of stories about people treeing some coons, but I've never heard a story about a coon treeing a man.
It was an embarrassing moment because I wasn't thinking. I was like, hey, I'm going to climb this tree, get away from this dude. It's chasing me. I'm young and dumb, and mine was on something.
So you climbed that tree in the buff, huh?
I had boots and a hat on.
Wow.
I had
boots on the bark.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. He had his tidy whities on too. Tidy whities.
He probably wishes he had his tidy whities on.
They weren't tidy and whitey anymore.
Yeah, that was a oh crap moment for me because
brown shorts moment.
Yeah, it dawned on me there. I'm not smarter than this coon. I am really dumb right now. But for years I hunted black powder. I love hunting black powder like I love hunting bow. I love that challenge. Modern rifles is just, to me, I'm sorry, it's way too easy.
Too easy.
Yeah, I mean, I could drop anywhere from 30 minutes being in my deer woods. I have 1 to 6 deer down with my 7 bag. So I love the bow. I
use a spoon.
Man, come on, Jesus, we know you.
I like to make it real hard.
I can show. I know what you're like. You're sitting in that tree and you're waiting, John. You're going.
Yep.
And then you jump out.
Yep.
I don't fall asleep in the deer stand that much, Eric. It happens.
I've done it more than once.
I woke up one time and it was dark. I was like, well, I guess I'm finishing out the end of the season without anything. So I got out of the stand. But
oh God. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've fallen asleep out in the deer woods. I've
also found what was left of a Bigfoot hanging a carcass off my stand too. They've hung deer carcasses on my ladder stands. Right
there, not even a year ago. It's in my intro video. I have 2 stands. I have a bow stand that I hunt out of on a different part of my property, and I have a rifle stand that I hunt of on the other side of my property. And so I was down there. I was checking my game cams. So every now and then I go out, check the batteries. It usually lets me know on the phone when the batteries are running low. And so I go down into the woods, and I see I'll have to look it up, but I've got the pictures. I found these old deer legs that had been twisted, torn apart. and stuff like that. That's not a normal animal doing that around here. And where
Now-
my
Raccoon.
The big raccoon.
trash panda is doing its
Right.
ninja stuff, you know.
It was Wile E. Coyote. He was in there trying to, you know.
Yeah, and it.
Now-
I mean, it. This was right at my rifle stand, which where my rifle stand is also where my guests like to hunt. That is one of the two main locations for my guests. Is the rifle stand and a little patch here on the other side of my driveway. Is the two main locations where I get most of my guest activity at. So over here to the east of me and here to the south of me is my two primary. I get them all over my woods. That's the two heaviest locations. And the one here to the south of me next to my drive is where I get a lot of cedar bark that's been stripped up, 15, 20 foot up off the ground. Down there is where a lot of the hunting is.
I was just thinking about something that I've found. Has anybody ever seen a deer carcass with the bottom jaw ripped off of the skull?
Yes.
Yeah. I found that one time here.
Wow.
And I'm in Maryland. I mean, I'm on the PA border, the lower end of Pennsylvania. But I'm about an hour and a half from Gettysburg, but you wouldn't believe the amount of weird stuff I've ran into around here. And I mean, that alone, I mean, we've got black bears occasionally. We've got coyotes and the occasional mountain lion, which the state claims we don't have any of those things. But I don't think any of those three would be ripping a jaw.
And then leaving the rest of the carcass.
Well, you can tell they picked it clean, but it's just like they stripped everything right there and then stripped the skull. Just basically, it looks like something grabbed it and went like this.
Well, I've ran into a small doe that was basically whole except for this lower jaw. It was completely ripped completely off. It wasn't even there. And then there was a button buck that I ran into, and I was probably early 20s and was pretty much in the same condition. The coyotes hadn't even chewed on it yet. It was just
some had
laying
taken
there
most
with
of the meat, but everything else was untouched.
Yep.
Oh, she already did. Okay, sweet. Sorry, I forgot to have yours and Jeremy's YouTube deal up, and I messaged Roxanne to get it, but she already did, and that's why I love her as a mod. She was right on that for me. I thought I had it.
Track of us.
Yeah, I thought I had it in here, but I got to looking, and I was like, I don't have old line cryptids YouTube link in my stuff. I thought I did. So I want to make sure everybody subscribes to all your guys' channels. That's watching us today. Hey, Blackie.
Hey, let me ask you something. Was the tongue still attached
No.
Huh?
No. The tongue was gone.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the tongue was in that one either.
That may
wish
be
I
why they're
still had
pulling
all
it apart
the
like that
pictures.
to get in there and bite that tongue out.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
protein in that tongue.
Yeah.
I gotta look and see if I can find that picture. I might still have that one.
Brandon,
I wish I knew which old cell phone I had that had the carcasses hanging from the deer stands. That'd be nice if I could find that.
Hell yeah.
But
Brandon
that was-
said,
Dude, I've
like-
lost so many pictures.
yeah.
I'm hell on my phones, man, and I don't back them up. I don't back up the pictures.
Now in that same field where all that happens in the same general area. About 2 years ago, my buddy called me and he had shot 2 does during bow season one night, and he said, "I need you to come down here. Something doesn't make sense." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "That second deer, I blood trailed it across the field, and it went downhill towards the creek, and it turned around and went back uphill." And I'm like, wounded deer do not turn around and go back uphill. That don't make any sense. So I got down there, and he's like, "It came up, it went out that way, and I just found the blood over here. It looked like something had tackled it into the brush."
Damn.
That
Brandon
deer
said,
actually came back up the hill, came out on the field, went down the field, and tried to go back in, and then something tackled it. I mean, there was pieces of, I was finding blood and tissue like up in the trees. I didn't video too much of it because I was, I had one hand on my 38 and the other hand on my light trying to, look at the stuff. And then the owls started.
Yeah.
And they were coming from multiple spots. And I'm like, well, some of those sound like owls. And then the other ones I heard, I'm like, that's not an owl.
That's not an owl.
And he's been with me. He was with me the night we got screamed at working on the deer stand. And he's heard some other weird stuff here. And he looks at me and he goes, we don't need to find this one. Let's go back and get the other one. So we went back to the other side of the field. And I stood there with my shotgun and my light while he finished field dressing that one. And I'm standing there. We've got 10 deer within 50 yards of us. We're all just bedded down.
Yeah.
They had no interest in going across the field at that point in time.
They were using y'all as protection, thinking the closer they get to y'all, less likely they are something's going to get them.
Yeah. That was weird.
Brandon says, me and my buddy found a deer hanging in the tree by its antlers, no bottom jaw, stripped from the neck down. That's wicked. That's wicked.
I mean, I know coyotes can strip a deer pretty good, but these things do a pretty damn good job. They don't drag it all over hell's creation when they strip it, though.
It's like how when you're gutting a fish, just pulling that right down the middle,
Well, it's just like a snake. I mean, you get that right cut right on a snake. All you do is grab the skin and you can take it right off. And a lot of times that gut will come out right with it, too. You just pull
now,
it all
if it
out.
been a coyote, the hide would have been all torn to hell.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But this wasn't torn up.
Well,
I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of, I'm sorry, brother.
No, you're good, bro. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of the cattle mutilations. They'll have parts that are just missing. The jaws, eyes, booties, all kinds of craziness. And, of course, organs on the inside that nobody knows that they're missing, but they're missing. There's no slice open for them to take it out. You know what I mean? But that's what it reminded me of, that jaw thing. And there's been a few humans found missing parts of their face like that in the Americans. So that's some scurrilous stuff, man.
Oh yeah. Well, see, in that same day, I found that twisted and you can tell it was pretty fresh. In the pictures, you can see that one was pretty fresh. About 15 minutes later, I went to my car, grabbed something out, came inside because I forgot something. I was getting ready to leave, and I put the dogs up. And then I turned around, came back. So within a 5-minute time frame of me getting to my car, going inside and come back out, my truck. I'm sorry, it was my truck. Right at the door, my front door of my truck was an older set of deer leg bones the exact same way. And it wasn't there 5 minutes ago when I was out there.
Wow.
I'll tell you another odd thing I find around here is blue balloons.
Yeah. I remember saying that.
Yep. I've heard a couple other people talk about that. And we've found them here, a couple places not far from here, too.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think that's about?
I don't know if they like the damn color or what it is.
They do. The colors do that to the paranormal. It's like they're kind of silly like that.
And it's not like the thing got tangled up in a tree or something. Every time you find it, it's like stuffed underneath of something, or it's tied to a branch. Now, wind doesn't make knots that good.
That's weird. That is very strange.
Oh, yeah. Brandon said that deer skeleton, it was skin to the bone, and the skeleton was intact.
Tony, have you ever seen anything like that with the balloons?
Now, could you repeat that? You just broke up.
You ever seen anything with the blue balloons, finding them in the woods anywhere?
No, I can't say that I have. No.
It's odd.
Right.
But,
I've heard a couple other people mention it before.
I find a lot of stuffed animals, little tiny stuffed animals and stuff like little kids. Do you think little kids have? It's like the first time I was like, oh, where's some little kid forgot their toy, up here in the forest. And then the second time, and then the third time, and the fourth time, and all these different places. It's really odd. It's just.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying, why are they doing that? what the heck, man?
I mean, there's been several documented cases, both in cryptid and the paranormal, of them liking something, and they constantly are in the look for it or keep it or do something with it. Paranormal is the same thing. It's what we call using a trigger object. It's something that they like to get the paranormal to do something. Cryptids like certain things, like the little blue rubies we had out here from that documentary I was. Yeah. They took all the blue rubies in the food, but they left everything else.
I got one for you.
Seeing kids.
I got a friend that lives directly on the Red River, and her family established the place during, before statehood, and she's 5th, 6th generation to live on the land. Anyway, she's got a relationship with the Sasquatch. There's 2 of them. She's named them, talks about them all the time. Well, she planted a whole garden, big garden of cantaloupe one year, just cantaloupe. Was planning on doing all this, making all this stuff, with cantaloupe. She comes home and they're all gone. They're eaten. I mean, there's no trace of them except for one. And it was bit in half, and they stuck a little flower in it.
Wow.
A little wild flower right in the middle of it, and left it for her.
We have we have a question here from Roxanne. Jesus, have you ever had experience with a dog man at all?
Yes, I had one. I guess a couple actually. Yeah, one time by the property I'm on right now. It's a little 5-acre parcel, 20 minutes west of Mescalero Apache Reservation. We had gone Bigfoot hunting that day and shot our first documentary, me and my nephew, and we were doing The Last Thoughts, at the end of the day. And while we were talking, one ran behind me, and I was like, whoa. And it was silent, didn't make one sound. It was crazy. And then the other time was a couple of years ago in Bonito Canyon. There was a dog man, a juvenile Bigfoot, a full-grown size Bigfoot, and a really tall gray, all hanging out together. I took pictures of those ones too. But yeah, that was my last dogman related encounter.
I think you sent me the videos on that, didn't you? If I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was wicked.
That's a hell of a gang right there.
Yeah, you can see the eyes in the bushes just kind of moving around.
I think I've only ever had one of those experiences, and that is one place I will never go turkey hunting again.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything, but you talk about the creepiest feeling I've ever had, man. Something was not right about that spot. And I had heard stories about that particular area of West Virginia before. And the closer I got to that little spot it was kind of like you had to go around rocks to get into this little, I called it a blind spot to go around to get up to where the turkeys were supposed to be. And I couldn't even make myself walk any closer to that spot. And I'm like, I just locked up. I couldn't even move.
Dude, when I was down doing that werewolf investigation, and I'm trying to get a team together because I don't want to go back down there by myself again. That was one of the very few times I've ever been ran out of the woods. And it wasn't a werewolf that ran me out. This was something very old, very, very powerful and very, very evil. And the very second I started stepping foot out of my truck, it was trying to draw me away from where I was and was trying to do my initial investigation of the area. And the more I ignored it that night, the worse it got, to the point that I thought I lost my $250 thermal camera because I was packing stuff up so quick because I wanted to get the hell out of there. And looked and couldn't find it for a long time. And then I was emptying it out, showing some stuff on the show, and there it was after I bought a replacement for it. But that's literally one of the very few times I've been ran out of the woods by something, and it was old, it was evil, whatever it was. And that area has a lot of death from civil wars, from family feuds and stuff like that going on.
I got one. My dog man encounter involved two. Me and my best friend were down on close to the Red River on his granddad's property. And every time we pulled up, we were going arrowhead hunting. Every time we pull up, we park in front of this thicket. And it's not a real big one and pretty thin, but there's a washout behind it. So if you go behind it, the ground will come up to about right here, about to where your chest starts. And I walked back to the pickup. I told him, I said, I'm going back to the pickup to get something to drink. He said, I'm right behind you, which means I'll be along in, a few minutes. So I go sit in the pickup and I'm drinking a bottle of water, man, and I'm looking at that thicket. And I notice there's two limbs crossing, kind of made a triangle. And I look, and just so happened where those two limbs cross, right inside that triangle, there's a hole wallered out through the thicket, like something pushed its arms through there all the way through. Probably, I'm gonna say the thicket's 5-6 feet in deep on the back side of that, and it's watching me through that hole. And I start making out its face, and I see its eyes. I see this brindle kind of stripes coming across, and I'm going, man, there ain't no cows on this place. There's no cattle. We left the gate open, And I'm sitting here and I'm going through all the logical things, that could be there. But I raise cattle, man. They don't watch you through a thicket, a hole pushed through a thicket. And I'm sitting there and I'm focused in on it. And all of a sudden I see it sidestep, okay, out of the view of the hole that's pushed through the thicket. And I'm like, what the hell did I just see? And all of a sudden I look, and there's another one sitting there. It was sitting directly behind the first one. And when the first one sidestepped, the other one was right there to watch me, the second one. And I looked over and I seen my friend coming to the truck. And I hadn't put one and one together yet, but that's why that first one took off. It heard him coming. And we got in the truck and he goes, what are we doing? And I said, hey, man, you see that hole right there in that thicket? And he goes, yeah. I said, go up there and see what that is. And he's packing. He's got a 45 on him. And he walks up there and he kind of squats down, kind of bends over to the side a little bit, gets a little closer, and all of a sudden he goes and stood straight up, drew his pistol, and backed all the way to the truck. Never looked back. Kept his eye on the target. Backed up to the door, put his pistol back in his holster, got in the pickup, and I said, what'd you see? And he goes, nothing. And I said, oh, yeah? I said, why'd you pull your pistol? And he goes, I don't know, I just felt like pulling it, And I was like, we're going to talk about this when we get to the house. So we sat there for a minute, and I said, so, spill it. He said, I told you I didn't see nothing. And I said, then why'd you pull your pistol? And he said, it growled at me. So he said, it shook my chest when it did it. And I said, well, I seen something move. He goes, and you're just telling me this now? And I said, I didn't know what it was, man. I hadn't put one and one together yet of everything. That's pretty damn smart, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned something that day. Okay, so he goes back up there the next day and finds a track in this little creek, just a little bitty ravine where we'd always cross. Probably, it was a little muddy, but it was 3 claws. and it had a little straight indentation in the ground behind it. I'm gonna say about probably 3 or 4 inches behind the claw imprints. And I figure that's where it squatted down, you know, and its dog hocks kind of hit the ground a little bit. And we had a picture of it and stuff, and I freaking busted my phone, and I've lost so much stuff. But that one came around to watch him in that little muddy creek bed, and only left one print. Well, he went back out there a while back to bury his friend's daughter's dog, and I mean, he said they dug like a 4-foot hole with post hole diggers, you know. Put her in there, put rocks on top of it, big rocks, and then would put more dirt, and then pile those big rocks on it. And he's like, you know, I don't want nothing digging her up. They went out there the next day, and those rocks, that hole was dug up, and the rocks were just tossed to the side. And he said these were big rocks, you know, and they were tossed like nothing. And it went dug all the way down to the dog, and looked and seen, you know, what it was, didn't mess with it, left it just like that. But it's crazy. I mean, he found 2 coyotes. That's who found this finger. This dude is the luckiest or the best artifact hunter I've ever seen. But out there on that place, he found 2 coyotes buried on their backs, side by side. And, you know, it's got me thinking, maybe we're dealing with something that's doing some dark magic. You know?
Doubt it.
Possible.
That same place that I backed out of there, we were there for a few days. And like you said, one of my buddies he come back from fishing. We left him down there and went back to camp. And it had been like 20 minutes. He comes back, and we were all carrying pistols. Well, we went out. We left the shotguns at camp and went fishing. Well, he comes back, and he's got his 9mm in one hand and his fishing rod in the other, and he's looking behind him as he's walking down the trail. And I'm like, the hell's he? Because he never pulls his for anything. And I'm thinking, what in the hell's got him spooked? And then I'm thinking the direction he's coming from. I'm like, huh. And I was like, what's up? He's like, how long you guys been here? And it's the same guy that's been with me for a lot of stuff. And he's like, where's Sam? I'm like, he's over there taking care of some business. Stuck behind the tree with his toilet paper roll. So he obviously wasn't doing anything, but he's like, something was throwing rocks into the creek while I was fishing. He's like, bears don't have hands. And I'm like, no, they don't. And I was like, you know what it was.
You go through your logical explanations. Okay, one of these guys is messing with me. One of my friends is messing with me. You always think that, you know, if you're a logical thinker, because you start eliminating all the logical explanations, and what do you got left?
It was the middle of the week, and we were 2 miles away from the truck, and nobody else was camping down there.
Right.
We didn't see anybody for 2 days. Nobody started camping down there on that section of the trail for almost 2 days. So it wasn't people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You start eliminating those possibilities, and there's only one thing left after you eliminate all the logical explanations. And that's the illogical, you know.
Bigfoot throwing rocks at me, and I'm in a canoe. Hell no. That's gotta suck. You know?
He was on the bank. I've been in the boat and had rocks, you know, getting thrown out in the river while we've been fishing in the middle of the night. And there wasn't nothing. It's not like it could have just fell off an embankment or fell off the bridge, because the bridge was too far away for that to happen. And these rocks are landing in the middle of the channel. And I asked my buddy John, who's always out night fishing for catfish, I said, that happened to you? He's like, it happens all the time. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I just keep fishing.
Hey, I hear they're precision surgical with rocks, so they're missing on purpose, you know.
Yeah, obviously. they're if they wanted to hit his boat, they could, but they're not.
Yeah.
So
Real quick, we have a question here, possibly two, but I want to point out a lot of people are saying they're having trouble with. I'll have to re-get the code for Jesus's channel, Breaking Bigfoot. Go to YouTube, type in the search bar Breaking Bigfoot, and Jesus Payon's channel will pop up on there. That's how I found it before. I will work on getting his YouTube thing fixed. I apologize for that, guys. But just go into the search bar, look up Breaking Bigfoot, and you'll be able to find his YouTube channel.
now, Tony, what's your channel?
I don't have a channel.
You don't have one? Okay.
I do not have one.
Breaking Bigfoot is on hiatus for a while and is currently Triple J Magnum, me working on Mopars and building cars.
Are you still working on that Magnum?
Yeah, no, I've done my third one now. Yeah. And I guess I bought a Challenger and a Charger too, trying to get me a Daytona. But yeah, I'm trying to learn everything about every one of them versions of the car so I can know them all inside out. And, just want to build cars now. You know what I mean? I can't help the paranormal stuff or the Bigfoot stuff. Whenever I go anywhere in them realms, it's there. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to enjoy my life as best as I can at the moment. You know?
Heck yeah.
I just added another Dodge to my family.
Hey, when I was 13, I found a 1969 Roadrunner 383 hardtop in this behind this motel. I thought it was a GTX. You know, my old man had one when I seen that Belvedere top. Bought it for $250, and me and my granddad had it running after school that day, about 2 hours after school. And yeah, I put new carpet in it, sold it to a guy that worked out here at the nursery for like $800, and went down to Weatherford, Texas, and bought a Sinister Green 1969 Special Edition Dodge Charger when I was 14.
Nice.
Man, this thing was
If anything sat around here that long, it'd be rotted out. We're up in the Rust Belt here. Nothing
Nothing like
California.
I tell you what, this area is bad. State of Maryland, and they love using salt on everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
that kills me seeing cars that it just literally eats the whole car. That's wild.
I mean, I just bought a 2014 3500 Hemi, and it's already starting to get rust underneath of it.
Man, that's not cool.
I'm going to spray that thing down. I mean, it's going to need.
Right.
I got an 03 Dakota. I'm surprised that I can still make it down the road with that thing because it's,
I'd rhino line all the undercarriage of all the parts of the undercarriage. Rhino line it.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some stuff getting put on there because.
Right. Yeah, it freaks me out if I see a speck arrest. That would be like having heart attacks.
I'm almost to the point where after the next time I'm going to say somebody from down south, find me something and I'll have it shipped up here because it's crazy.
Okay, here's a cool topic that's connected to cars and the paranormal, guys. So, what are your thoughts on cars that have been possessed by spirits and demons like Christine?
Christine.
That is
300
definitely,
Plymouth Fury.
that is definitely something that happens without a doubt.
Yep.
Now, I know people that have given this is a good one. Gettysburg.
Okay.
Knew a guy that delivered hay here. And I was talking to him one day, asked him, I was like, he wasn't our normal driver. I said, you ever have anything strange happen over there on the battlefields? Because they bail on the battlefields.
Nice.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what happened? And he starts telling me this. Apparently, he had went back over there to get his truck. He had a Ford Excursion.
Nice.
And he got in and he starts driving home or back to the farm, and he looks over, and there is a Confederate cavalry officer in the passenger seat. And I was like, well, what'd you do? He goes, well, I kept driving. The further I got away from there, the closer I got to the farm, he just started to dissipate. And he said he could see everything, all of his buttons, like all of the insignias, everything, the patches, all of it.
But if I was haunting that area and I saw a big old Ford excursion, I'd jump into like, let's roll.
Yeah,
Yeah. From those days, because like you said, what they had.
Like something the Confederates would have probably rode around in if they had vehicles. I could see that being a Confederate cavalry officer's ride.
Hey, if it'd been me, I'd have leaned over and kicked up the AC.
Yeah, they would have been really impressed with air conditioning.
Yeah.
Right?
We got
I don't know
three.
about the vehicles, being the car itself being possessed, like you're talking about Christine. But I do know that if you ever, and you said you have a salvage yard pretty much next to your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've been around salvage yards long enough, you get around some of them old vehicles, especially the ones that are pretty mangled up. There's still some spirits hanging on.
Yep.
Well, okay. This is
there's things in them vehicles.
My family's wholesale nursery, my old home. We don't have it. We're not operating anymore. But I live out here, and I've been out here all my life. And my best friend, he worked for us for like freaking 13 years. And he, was out here too. And I said, hey, man, did we just not notice that? Was this stuff going on back then? He goes, no. He goes, dude, not till 2015. That's when it kicked up. But when I heard the little kids laughing that night for the first time, I walked outside and I was like, the hell is that? And I turned around and I walked back in the greenhouse because I was growing marijuana at the time. I was a commercial grower, legal, licensed grower.
Yeah.
And I was getting the house ready, and I was raking gravel inside, and I had lights set up and everything. And I heard those little kids laughing, and I sat there and I was like, man, that's little kids. Walked outside and looked around again, turned back around, walked inside and started raking, and something come in and poked me on my leg like a little kid, like on the calf. And I jumped, spun around, wasn't nobody there. I said, all right, cut it out.
Yeah.
Heard them giggling again. I was like, well, I think I'm going to roll her up for the night.
We got about 8 minutes left, unless you guys are good for going more than 2 hours. So I've got 3 questions on hold.
Questions. Let's hear some questions.
First one's Roxanne says, Jesus, have you ever seen a gugwe?
No.
Next one is from Brandon says, are you guys by Oregon? I hear a lot of Bigfoot encounters.
Who's by Oregon?
I got a friend in Oregon that used to be on the show. He's had some stuff around there.
Yep.
Around Coos Bay.
Yeah. I've been up there, Oregon and Washington multiple times, and they got a lot of action going on up there. There's a lot of Bigfoot in that area, and that whole forest system right there. It's just like
it's always been a hot spot up in there.
There's a lot of them there.
Oregon, Washington,
right?
Tony, where are you at?
I am in Kansas, right in the middle of the United States of America, almost dead freaking center. I don't know if you know where Wichita, Kansas is. That's one of the biggest.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right. I work in Wichita, right outside of Wichita.
Nice.
But I have spent some time up at Gettysburg. That's, like I said, that's one of my favorite hot spots to be. So, what are your experiences there at Gettysburg? Since you're local, I'm sure you've probably been down there more than a few times.
I never really the times I've been there before, I was never really into a lot of that stuff. I hadn't been there in years, and I went up there last year for the first time in a while. And we found some stick structures and stuff, but one of the strange thing was the time we were there last time, the rain was sucky. So we didn't get a whole lot done as far as going out in the woods. But we took a haunted orphanage tour.
Right.
And one of the girls that was with us got poked in the back while we were in the basement.
In the basement. Right.
All sitting down.
Nope.
And before that, I was upstairs. We were in the orphanage, like in the one of the rooms upstairs where all the pews were, and they were giving the whole spiel about everything. And it wasn't real warm out, and we're sitting inside, and all of a sudden I started sweating just like profusely to the point where I was getting sick. I was taking my sweatshirt off and just it was weird to the point where I was about ready to leave the building. And I don't usually get hit with stuff like that.
So it must have been
It happens.
intense.
Yeah.
It definitely does happen there.
I've almost had more. I feel like I'm pretty even as far as paranormal versus cryptid stuff. But the paranormal stuff seems to bother me more than the Bigfoot does for whatever
Right.
reason.
Right.
More
Right.
personal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I may have been hit by infrasound one time, maybe. But, you know, it could have just been stress that day. I don't know. But that
Right.
time in that orphanage, whew,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about rough.
Oh, got your claws. Next question from Unacknowledged. Jesus, are you familiar with the sightings of centaurs in the Four Corners area of New Mexico? Many strange sightings up there, including winged creatures.
Yeah, the winged creatures I have heard, not a lot, but yeah, I have heard of the centaur sightings like as of recent, which is wild. There's so much that we don't realize they've told us is not real in this fantasy, and turning out that all of that is real. Up is down and down is up, left is right and right is left. It's wild, but yeah, I just think it's a trip, man. You know, when I started hearing that there were sightings of centaurs, I was like, holy crap, they're back, you know?
Look who's back again,
Right.
again. Look who's back, look who's back.
Blamey's showing up, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Uncivil says, have you guys had an experience with Pugwudgies?
Nope.
No, I haven't either. Heard of them.
Now, we do have the Albatwitch, which is right here in Lancaster, right above me. That's been a thing for years. That's what well, it comes from the German term apple snitch. They used to snatch apples out of the orchards.
Mm.
And apparently they're still spotted in Lancaster County.
Hey, are you talking about apple sprite, little green creatures?
No, they're like a mini Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I've seen
Don-
tiny Bigfoots, like this big, like little ones. Got a couple pictures of them.
And I've also got a pale crawler report right across the river in an
Yeah.
area that I drive past all the time. Yeah.
damn. Don
Get your
wants to know.
flamethrower.
Yeah.
John wants to know, what do you all think of the Ohio sightings this month?
Well, it is springtime, so that could have something to do with it. There could be something going on in that area that's making them move around. Maybe.
I think everything's ramping up all over the world. Just everything.
I agree with Jesus on
Literally
that one.
between from paranormal
Could be
and
that
cryptid to just to humans, everything's just going loco, man, and gas prices.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange stuff going on right now. It's hard to say about these sightings. how much of it's credible, how much of it is. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's still early for me to have a good opinion about it. I usually give something a little bit more time to see what pops out with it.
Right.
So I'm not saying it ain't happening, but I'm not saying it is either. I'm still kind of following a little bit, see what's going on. Corey, what's your opinion about the Ohio Bigfoot sightings?
Man, Ohio's an active place, man. You know, I mean, I don't think it's any more significant than anyone else, man. Wherever there's water, you're gonna have activity, and you're gonna see things. Man, the Oklahoma Red River, from east to west end. If you want to see something, go down to it.
Heck yeah.
You know, I'm not real familiar with Ohio, but man, they're everywhere.
Heck yeah.
The Ohio Grassman.
St. Loco, have you heard about that? The sightings?
No, honestly, no, I can't say that I have. You know,
Okay. No worries. Next one, Brandon. Where and what was your scariest encounter you've ever had for the whole panel I've got all night? So what's your guys' scariest encounters you've ever had? And Corey, let's start with you this time, bro.
Her name was Wendy. No, kidding.
I believe you.
Rosie Palm.
Hey,
I was married once.
My baby mama.
I will say the scariest encounter was probably the cemetery encounter at a double grave where static electricity started shooting out of the grave and causing the weeds and everything to stiffen up and start shaking and popping. And I saw a human spine sticking out of the dirt on top of it. Was a double grave with a little fence around it. And I seen a human spine whipping on the top of it. That's probably the scariest out of all the things I've seen. And I've seen a shitload of stuff.
Jesus?
Well, I would say it was on the Navajo Diné reservation where I was living. Was in a trailer of a friend's house. He was in his room asleep. I was in the living room crashing out on the floor. You know, had a big screen TV. Snow was on because there's nothing on TV anymore. The old projector, big screens, you know. And I'm laying there, and something grabs my ankle and drags me about, I don't know, good 10, 15 feet across the floor. Whoop, just yanked me like a baby. And I weighed at the time I weighed probably 350, 375. And yanked me like nothing all the way across. And I got up and took off. And when I was walking out, I had my tablet in my hand and it took a picture. And in the picture, you could see it looks like a dead person's face coming out of the floor. And then on the couch, you could see stringy hair, like somebody was sitting on the couch throwing up a bony peace sign like that. You know, it was creepy as shit. It scared the living hell out of me, man. It was bad.
St. Loco?
you know, I don't know. I've seen a lot of creepy stuff, you know, scared the crap out of me a little bit. The most scary thing I think we've talked about that was, you know, had to deal with the Sally house, but you know, a lot of that wasn't what was seen. It was more what was felt and what the aftermath was on that
Bed at the Sally house? Ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we could talk about that for a while if we really needed to. But
That video
as
set
far
was
as-
wicked.
yeah, some of the video I got from that, you know, when you're talking about orbs and whatnot. But I'd say one of the scariest things that just scared the holy crap out of me. I was pretty young, and I'd been out with a female acquaintance of mine, and we were looking for a place to kind of stop and, you know, maybe get to know each other a little bit better, if you know what I'm saying. And it was right outside of a cemetery, Union Cemetery, in a little town called Winfield, Kansas, where I grew up. And you know, I've dealt with paranormal my whole life, but it's not like I was looking for it or expecting anything. We just happened to be exiting the cemetery on a side dirt road or literally dirt path, basically, access road. And all of a sudden, there was a creature, and as you know, the only way I could describe it would be cherubic, about the size of what you would describe as a cherub, very pale, small horns, wings, and red eyes, and stopped right in the middle of the road, right in front of us, and just glared at us. Slammed on the brakes, almost went into a tree, freaked us both the hell out, and then it just took out running. I mean, just disappeared. I mean, it moved, but it just basically disappeared. And so I would say, as far as scaring me, you know, because that was unexpected. That was completely just unexpected. Another time, if I could go into two, we'd had a family there in Winfield, and I worked at a place called Rubbermaid. We made coolers and camp equipment and crap, right? A family burned up, didn't actually burn up. They died in their house of smoke inhalation right before Christmas and about my 18th birthday. So I was out at this same young lady's family's house because we'd been together for a while at that point. And it was Christmas morning on the AM. I was driving into town. They lived outside of town. And so I was driving in, and I happened to drive by this house because it's on 9th Street or Highway 160 going into Winfield. And this house had been on fire, and these people had expired about a week and a half prior to this. There were Christmas lights on in that house. So I went around the block to a side street facing it. And this empty house at about 1:15, 1:18 in the AM on Christmas morning, you could see Christmas lights in the downstairs where the fire was. And in the upstairs, you could see the mom and the dad in one window, and you could see two children in another window looking out at me. And even as I'm talking about this, just talking about it,
That's giving me bumps right now.
yeah.
Jeff, how about you? Oh, sorry.
Well, we'll go into that where I was talking about where I froze and started backing out. That was when you try to take a step forward and your body physically won't let you move any further, and then all of the hairs go up on the back of your neck, and you're flipping the safety off of your turkey gun and unstrapping your pistol at the same time, and then backing down the hill for 100 yards, keeping your weapon trained on that blind spot, and then backing up till you thought you were safe enough to turn around and go downhill. That's about the creepiest I've ever had happen. But I will say there's another one. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it definitely threw me off. Right out here on the front porch one night, I was on the phone with a Bigfoot friend from Mississippi, and we were talking about stuff, and I'm watching, because something always happens when I'm on the phone with somebody that's in one of the, either they have something happen. It's like weird. It's like we're all like in tune to, hey, something's going to happen while we're all talking. I don't know how that shit happens, but it does. Right out here in the front yard, I see a energy cloud. Right in the corner of my eye, it just looked like a black mist come across my yard, and it just it like it had its own life to it. You know what I mean? And you could see through it, but it was really dark, and it just kind of kept moving and went across the yard, across the driveway, and disappeared into the corner of the pasture. And I was so dumbfounded by it that I couldn't talk for a good 10 minutes. He's still on the phone talking to me, and finally I had to stop and go, yeah, I don't know what that was, but I just seen some sort of entity or something cross the yard in front of me. It was and that was just an odd situation. It wasn't I don't know if that one scared me, but it definitely
unsettling.
Attention. Yeah, it was unsettling. And I've never had any bad experiences as far as spirits go, except for that one time I felt really uncomfortable, and that everybody always looks at me like, "Oh, you haven't really had anything scary happen." Because I mean, I've never really freaked out about a whole lot of stuff, but I've definitely had stuff that was crazy.
I believe
As
it.
if getting screamed out in the woods working on a deer stand isn't bad enough, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely not a contest. You know what I mean? We don't want that shit to happen.
When
you
it's
know?
vibrating your entire body and then you turn and run off, leaving everything that you had there till the next day when you go back in the daylight and get it,
Right?
and then making a tractor jump a knoll, but you know,
That sounds pretty scary to me.
Yeah.
you know.
So
in the
Jesus,
time- but now
Go ahead.
I look back at it and it was just one of those holy shit experiences.
Right?
so Jesus, had you heard about the Sally House, or are you familiar with the Sally House?
Yeah, no, I watch a lot of ghost hunting, videos, and the Sally House is quite famous.
Yes.
I used to watch a lot of ghost videos.
I don't want to go there because the spirits like to follow me.
And
I ain't trying
Sally
to get
will
to
follow
stick
you.
on me.
I
Hell
don't
yeah,
think it's gonna follow me home.
So I use my wife being jealous of a Sally ghost.
I know for me, I've got two of them. The first one was my very first encounter when I was 3, and my late grandmother literally picked me up. This is the only time I've had a paranormal do this type of physical activity. But she picked me up and said, "Eric, I love you. I'm always going to be with you, and I'm going to protect you." That was one of my first. The second time was here on this property, and I was about 16 years old. I was laying in my waterbed and woke up, and some skeleton rode in through my bedroom on the horse, looked at me, screamed, and rode out the other wall. That was probably the two most scariest ones for me.
That freaked me out.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever had a haunted puzzle?
Nope.
No.
Jerry
I was
gave me
puzzled by a haunting.
Yeah, well, Jerry gave me an old puzzle when he was cleaning out some stuff from his parents' house, and I called him the next day and I said, "What in the hell did you send me home with?" Because I kept cleaning up this puzzle and putting it back in the box, and I'd go back in the other room and I kept finding parts on the damn floor, and I'm like, "The hell." So I did it 3 or 4 times, and after that, I was like, "Oh, this is going in the garbage."
We have another question. Foxy says, "How do you all feel about premonitions? Do you think they come true?" And I absolutely do believe they do.
Yeah.
No, I felt that she was going to ask that question. Just kidding. No, but yeah, I think premonitions are real.
I don't care who you are. That's the funny shit.
Yeah, I think premonitions are real.
I absolutely believe it.
They are 100% real.
Yeah.
Especially deja vu, where you're seeing something and you're like, the next day, it could be something mundane like looking for a tool or something.
Yeah. Well, it's just like today, I was telling my wife, I was like, I got a premonition that today when I fill up the gas tank, it's going to be more than yesterday. And it came true. Yep.
Like I had one that I was looking for some wrench to work on something in the barn, and then the next day I'm like, I wasn't even planning on working on that, and then next thing here I am picking up that same wrench, going in there to.
Well, saying Loco, have you experienced any porting?
Any porting?
Yeah, like when you're, the spirits, when they'll drop stuff out of nowhere, pennies or, jewelry or anything like that, they just, just shit appears.
Throwing shit.
Yeah, it could be anything, a marble, a little pebble, or anything. You know what I mean? It just out of nowhere, just there it goes.
There it goes. There it just shows up. 1 second it's not there, the next minute it's there.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely. I could throw some stupid shit in there right now. Excuse my language because I use colorful language. Just yesterday, and my wife is sitting right here with me, and she's gonna look at me like all crazy and shit. I'm a firm believer. I talked to Ed about ghosts follow you around. They follow me around. I've always been able to feel them. Have seen them. They're around us all the time, okay, and including my house, and just as a kind of a warm up for some investigations. $5. Well, I'm reading something on the screen. This is all new to me.
We appreciate you too. We appreciate you too.
In my house, okay, because there are some things that have happened here. One of which, was after the Sally house. So there were several entities that have that actually cohabitate within this domicile. But yesterday, of just weirdness out of nowhere, we had just gotten a new bed and new mattress for our bed, and we had a king size bed that was 2 twins. Okay, that they had adjustable bases on them. We've had this mattress for a couple of weeks now. We have the bases set flat. We haven't moved them. We were getting ready to leave yesterday. My wife goes back to the bedroom and she goes, "So did you set your side of the bed on the zero gravity?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" So I had just left the bedroom. I'd changed clothes and just left the bedroom. When I went back in the bedroom, she's standing in there, and this half of the bed is all jacked up. The mattress is all wonky. The pedestal or the base had moved. We keep the remote controls. Our sheets have little pockets in them, right up at the head of the bed. So I reached in and grabbed the remote control and put it back down to flat. But no, just weirdness like that. You walk out of the room 1 second and you go back in, it's changed. Okay. So have we tried to come up with explanations for that? Oh yeah, you're going to try to come up with explanations, but that's just the latest and greatest, and that just happened literally yesterday. I walked out of the room, and I'm going to holler at my wife. How long was it before I walked out that you walked in there and you asked me about the bed? Just a matter of maybe 2 minutes, a matter of minutes. And nobody had been back in that bedroom. So, if that's that sort of thing. We also have had a strange dinging. Here we go. Dinging sound that will occur, and my wife will be working in on her desk, and it sounds like somebody has a crystal glass going ding 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 ding. Just continuous. One evening, I get migraines really bad, and I get very uncomfortable and grumpy, and it just pissed me the fuck off, quite honestly. And I walked out of the bathroom, and she's saying, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" Just got out of the shower. I heard it, and it's like I got hit with, okay, and I could feel it. I don't know what it was or who it was, but I could feel it. And I just literally screamed at it to stop. Stop.
Charlie.
It stopped immediately. It immediately stopped. I said, "You are not welcome here. Leave." It did.
Nice.
Has it come back since then? A few times. And my wife is over here. I could, if she doesn't want to be on the video on camera, but she could attest to it.
Oh, sis, you don't want to come and see me on camera? Oh, I'm hurt. I'm gonna cry.
You don't want to come see him on camera. She said she's been watching you. You can't see her, but she's been watching you guys.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So what about you all? I can't say with what you guys have been talking about with Bigfoot and that sort of thing, I really can't relate to a whole lot. My area, if I don't want to say expertise, but it is more of the paranormal, with ghosts, apparitions, and demonic.
Right. No, I'm right there with you, brother. I understand. Or which way you go? There you are, right down there.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. And there's Bigfoot's not everywhere. Well, it seems like it, but
Well, it seems like it. Yeah.
you know what I mean. But yeah, no, they're whole different worlds. They are different worlds. They are connected, of course. But yeah, man, the spirit world and demon world, that's very real. People don't understand that. In order to have those things, even if you don't believe in certain things, unfortunately, it's not about how we want it to be. It's what exists and what doesn't exist. But it's very real and it's serious, man. Ain't no joke.
Yeah.
So we are well past the 2-hour mark. I know some of you guys have got some stuff to do. So we're going to do kind of our closing thoughts. Jesus, I know you gotta run. You want to do your closing thought and let people know a little bit about where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. Just Jesus Payan. Type it in. You'll see a picture of me wearing some shades. You can find me on Instagram, Breaking Bad's Gonzo, and I am on Twitter, also Breaking Bad's Gonzo, and TikTok, Breaking Bad's Gonzo. And my new channel is called Triple J Magnum on YouTube, and that's about me and my car stuff. But anybody that wants to reach out and wants to see any of my videos, I'll send them the link, put it out there. But yeah, some things are changing in my life, and the paranormal and the weird isn't stopping, but just me concentrating on it publicly I'm just backing up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I get you, man. well, brother, thank you for coming on. It's always a blast having you on with me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's good meeting everybody and seeing people again. And we got to talk more about that giant pinky toe or finger, whichever it is.
Hell yeah, man.
And one day I'll have to get you on with us sometimes, Jesus.
No, for sure. Just hit me up, get my information from old boy here, and we'll set it up, brother.
Yeah.
We'll have to do this again.
Restoration on your charger? Are you doing restoration on your charger?
Yeah, this one's.
I got something you might need.
Really? All right. Let's definitely talk. Talk. All right, brother. And say Loco. Hopefully one day we can run into each other in a very haunted place, but not like that.
Right on, brother. It's been great.
It was awesome meeting all y'all guys, man.
You guys take it easy. We'll have to do this again. Everybody loves this, is wanting this crew back again. So we'll have to get this together again in the future. So, brother, you take it easy, and I'll talk with you later, man.
All right. Anybody wants to reach out, just ask him, give him my number, okay?
All right.
All right.
Will
Thank
do.
you.
Talk to you guys later. Nice meeting y'all.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Tony. Good morning.
Jeff, what's your closing thoughts, bro?
Well, I think the more you get down into this rabbit hole, just be careful about how far you really want to go.
Mhm.
Because once you get there, it's kind of hard to climb back out of the hole.
It is.
It really is. And you can catch me and Jerry and Danny and Chad, who Chad's our conspiracy theorist guy. He does the Oddcast podcast off the record on Sundays. I missed him tonight because I was on my way home from helping my girlfriend out moving stuff in her yard. But it's been a wild ride for the last 2 years, and I'm hoping I get to do some more stuff up in Gettysburg, Bigfoot and paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, I wish I'd found y'all's channel a lot earlier, Jeff. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I love guys that like to have fun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
we tried really hard not to be those stuck up idiots that, everybody's like, "Oh, what happened to you?" And then after that they're like, "Okay, you can leave now."
Yeah.
We don't do that kind of shit. So I just can't. Those kind of shows. Maybe that's why we are stuck in our hole. But I really don't care because we're having fun with it. So
Hey, man, there's nothing better than watching friends give each other hell. You know.
especially when I fall asleep halfway through the show.
Okay. Hey, I'm going through my shorts one day, just flicking through, and I stop and I see you snoring, and I'm like, "What the hell is it?" Oh, he's
Jerry
tacked out.
That's like one of our most watched shorts is me falling asleep during the episode.
Rating the snores.
Yeah, we were rating the snores that night. I'll tell you.
That was good. That was good.
Corey, what's on your mind?
Oh, lots of stuff, man. I've been thinking a lot about people who try to say, well, this is like this, and this is flesh and blood, and this is, it's all going to be mixed together one way or another, whether it is flesh and blood. Because I was thinking the other day, what if a supernatural Sasquatch that was manifested by the phenomenon, comes into this dimension and mates with one, and does that make the offspring supernatural or flesh and blood? I mean, this can go in so many different directions. There's no way we'll ever be able to corner it to one thing, ever. And in the end, come up with the craziest stuff you can think of. As many crazy ideas as you can think of. The truth is going to be way crazier than that when it's all said and done.
Heck
That's where I'm at.
St. Loco?
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with everybody. It's all out there. It's waiting to be found. It's really not up to us to be able to explain it all because we ain't going to be able to. And
right,
I just enjoy getting with people, talking about it that, aren't just going to think you're nuts. That's a lot of it right there.
That's the best part about this.
Oh yeah, and we know what's real. We know it. We know it's there. I don't need validated by anybody. I know what it is. And Jeff, I'd like to get together. Maybe Ed can have just one. Talking about Gettysburg because I'd love to talk to you about Gettysburg in more detail.
Yeah.
Well,
I would love to. I'd love to get up there more.
Right. So, and it was a pleasure meeting y'all, meeting Jesus, and just want to thank you for your time and, say keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to talking about Gettysburg because I love that place.
And I'll be honest with you, I love these Q&As when I have a large panel like this because the Native Americans would always sit in, and when we would talk about something, they would sit and circle around it, get up, take a break, come back in and sit in a different spot to see this from a different angle. That's just something we need to do when it comes to cryptids, paranormal, supernatural. So doing this stuff where we have a diverse variety of people and their experiences and what types of investigations they do. That's why I love doing this, is we get to see other points of view, not just our own and not just like-minded people, but different as well. So, everything we talked about tonight, from the paranormal to the werecats and the Bigfoots and dogmans and all that stuff, I love hearing everybody's encounters and their stories and their theories and their experiences, because you're always learning when you hear that stuff. So I want to thank each and every single one of you guys for joining me tonight. Everybody that had the questions and the new subscribers and the super stickers. Thanks you guys so much for doing all that. You guys are more than welcome to stay on after the outro and we can talk more backstage. And it's always, I don't mind talking backstage with everybody after the show. I love hearing your guys' stuff. We can get something together for the Gettysburg deal. I'm always looking for shows. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing next Sunday yet. So you guys let me know what times are good for both of you, and I'll get something put together. I love hearing that stuff. I've had a paranormal experience at Pea Ridge, which is another Civil War battle site, where I was riding my motorcycle through Pea Ridge, and I look over and seen this Confederate soldier peeking out from behind a tree at me.
Right.
So, I mean, this stuff happens. So I appreciate it. From my new subscribers to my OGs, thank you guys so much for coming in, listening to us talk, listen to this old hillbilly, spurt a few words or two. My mods, I want to give a shout out to Roxanne, Corey, Jeff. You guys are my mods. Even though you two are part of the show, you're my mods, and I appreciate you guys. You guys helped me get this show to go, and I thank you so much for that. I don't know what next week holds. I know Saturday will be the normal campfire chats with Eric and guest. That's a safe place for you to come and share your encounters. If you want to come on live, I'll bring you on live. If you just want to talk about it in chat, we'll just talk about it in chat. So I hope to see you guys next Saturday. With that being said, peace, love, and blessings to you all, and thank you so much. And gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you next time.
All right, brother.
See you guys.
See you.
Yeah.
Shadows where whispers hum. The air is thick where the strange things come. Behind the curtain where the fearless go. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. Dare to tread where the darkness hides. Your pulse will race, your breath will freeze in this realm of uncanny mysteries. Dare to tread where the darkness hides. wears a wicked grin. Its world pulls you slowly in, but once you're here, you'll never roam. This is now.